Alright, hello everybody, Silver here. We are back. Uh, I did want to say, I just recently... Oh fuck, why is my mouse sensitivity so high? It's because I was playing Power World. I don't know why, but for Power World, I need to, like, bump up my sensitivity slightly. I think. Yeah, that feels better. Uh, I've been playing a little bit of Power World lately. As I said I would be. But today I just finished updating my writing website. That's probably not much, like, people watching the YouTube videos probably aren't going to care too much about reading, like, reading that kind of shit. And there's not much on there, to be fair. I don't publish much of my work. And I'm planning on changing that a little bit. I'm also somebody people are gonna hate. Because while I dislike AI, I do dislike AI for the most part. I do not mind making chatbots for people. Just because that feels like a lot less harmful. Just like, I get, like, AI in and of itself is inherently harmful. Especially to, like, the environment and shit. However, I feel like AI chatbots are, like, the one thing that's, like, the least harmful thing that can do. So I do make chatbots. Just because, like, it helps me be like, okay, I'm gonna, like, write something, but I don't want it to be, like, super in-depth, like I'm not wanting to write a novel right now or something. So I do occasionally write just little chatbots for people. And I plan on putting those up on my website eventually. Because I have a couple sites I do it on. Mostly because there are so many fucking chatbots that you'll see that are just goon bait. That's all they are. It's just gooner bait. And, like, I don't necessarily want that. Because, like, what if somebody just wanted to, you know, interact with a fucking character that they like without it being, like, sloppy toppy for the next 30 fucking minutes? Like, that's not... Some people are more than fine with that, I'm sure. They're more than okay with that being how that works. And there's also likely, very likely actually, a lot of people who just don't like chatbots at all, who are going to be upset that as a writer, I would do that kind of thing. And I'm not saying to accept AI just because, like, oh hey, it's the future. Like, I kind of hope it dies off, to be fair. But I don't feel like chatbots are necessarily going to. It might, again, become something like smaller home model type stuff, rather than these big-ass models that you just see everywhere that people are gonna pay, like, tons of money to get access to. Because, again, I have a very... I have a different preference Like, I know even if we all band together, AI isn't going to go anywhere. There are going to be like home models and stuff that people use, uh, regardless. And I'm trying to fill in that void. Uh, and I don't like the gooner bait constantly. Because, again, that's all fucking the chatbot models are. I don't know, that might not be popular. That, like, oh, hey, an actual, like, adventure experience that might have elements of, like, might have elements of romance later on if you fucking chat with them enough. But I want it to be. I like that. I like that, personally. I don't want it to just be something that's like, oh, hey, yeah, this is a thing. I like the idea of an interactive story, like a text-based story. You know? One that you have interaction with, something that's, you know, that you can decide kind of like how it goes. Just even to a little extent. Even if it's not like a, oh, hey, I get to decide how this whole world. I mean, you kind of can with chatbots, to be fair. But I plan on adding that section eventually. Uh, because, again, I do that in my spare time a bit. I don't fuck with them. Like, I don't use them a lot. But I occasionally make them just to, you know, have them out there in the ether. Uh, Eventually, I kind of want to make games with that idea. But most of the characters that I use for like the chatbots are pre-established characters. Uh, that's all they are. They're pre-established characters that I couldn't use in a game if I wanted to, really, without it being like, oh, hey, you can't monetize this game whatsoever. And if it was a small game like that, I wouldn't monetize it anyways, to be fair. If it was just like a game where you're talking to like one character or a group of characters, in that aspect where it's just like, oh, hey, generating responses type of thing, I wouldn't mind that. Uh, I don't use like generated pictures for mine, for my chatbots. I don't do that. I use actual like pictures of the characters that I'm depicting, like official art, which might not be great for me, especially since like most of what I've done is just like Fire Emblem characters. Uh, I like Fire Emblem. I should point that out. I like Fire Emblem a lot. It's, again, my favorite series. Fire Emblem is my favorite series. It's something that I very much enjoy. Uh, Let me actually level this up. Genuinely. I need to level this up. Uh, but no, it's... I don't feel like there's as much wrong with, like, an AI companion chatbot type of thing as much as there is with the idea of somebody being like, oh, hey, I'm gonna have this this AI do like all of my thinking and that kind of shit. That kind of doesn't work as well. Again, we talked about ZZZ, how they had a council of chatbots that, or I guess they were AI assistants that just talked to each other and wasted thousands upon thousands of dollars talking to each other and not getting anything done. That's not something that I feel like is a good idea. We shouldn't be using them like that in industry. Because you're taking the jobs away from actual people who would, like, speak on those types of matters. Like a council of genuine human beings. And then you're also not getting anything useful out of it at the very end. Like, actually, you're just wasting money. Which, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of funny for big companies to do, but, like, with the impact on the environment they have, I don't like that. We already have plenty of shit that's gonna kill us. That we already do to the environment, by the way. Fucking smog, pollution, all of that. We already do that enough. We don't need to do it more. Because there really was a time where, like, AI was much more manageable, I would say. Where you could, like, go get, like, a model of something and then actually run it on your own PC without it having to connect to a big data center. And you could still do that with, like... Although, image generation is one that I feel like has some application as a tool, but not as much. Like, it's got some application as a tool, basically. I could see it being a possible tool, not for, like, corporations, but for artists themselves. Like, actual artists. And not, like, super big artists who are already well-known, have their own style. But I'm meaning, like, smaller artists who are like, oh, I want to try and get some anatomy working properly. And so they kind of use that as, like, a supplement to being like, oh, hey, I'm just gonna fucking scroll Pinterest where there's already gonna be a fuck ton of AI anyways. I'm gonna scroll Pinterest for like 30 minutes to an hour looking for a pose, a single pose, or several poses that I might use as reference material. Whereas they could use something like a generated image and be like, okay, I can use this as posing material. I could just use this as a reference image without copying the image directly, just as like a reference image. I have seen artists actually use AI as like AI generated images. Because I refuse to call it art, by the way. Because it's not art, it's just images. But I've seen artists who actually do use AI generated images for material. So it's not like it's a thing you can't do. Because some of them are genuinely decent and use as reference material, just like that. But they don't copy the art, they don't copy the image, they don't even use the image, anything similar to it. They just use it for like posing and shit, posing ideas, that kind of stuff. Because they're a good artist, actually. They're a very good artist. They're talented enough to know how to do everything already. They just use it for, you know, as a tool, as it should be, for the ideas that they can come up with using it. They're not generating them themselves. They're finding them online, to be fair. But you can see what I mean. It's possible to actually use them in a manner that's not like, oh, hey, I'm gonna, like, just use this AI image as, like, a fucking, I'm gonna use this AI image to basically, like, cheat my way through art. That's not what this artist does. They're actually, yeah, they do 3D and a little bit of 2D. To be honest. I haven't seen a ton of their 2D art. They're just an artist I know. I'm rather decent friends with them, I feel like. But, no, it's... Again, it's... You can use AI as a tool, which a lot of artists and people disagree with completely, which is a fair point. You don't have to use it as a tool. But I feel it's safe to use it as a tool as it's meant to be. Not to basically, again, cheat your way through. Being like, oh yeah, I drew that. I made this. When all you did was type in, you know, couple words and chose the best image out of a selection of images that were generated to be like, yep, this was mine. I did this. That's not skill. You can't be skilled at that. That's not a skill to type in shit, because anybody can do that. I'm not an artist, but I was able to generate back when, like, AI was like just like a meme that people were doing. Like, people were just making a fuck ton of meme images and stuff when it first started. I was pretty decent at actually getting good images, but it wasn't art. I wasn't sharing it. I wasn't doing any of that. I was just like, oh hey, look, I I got an AI to spit this out. Look how cool this looks. You know? But either way, I'm not here for like debating AI. I just wanted to like at least point out that that's something that I was doing was revamping my website a bit. Eventually going to add the section where it's just and it's not going to be something where you can actively go in and use an AI. They will be like character cards or links to a site to do that for it, to do that with. And then it's on whoever to do whatever they want with it afterwards. There's plenty of sites where you can get like character cards and stuff. Character cards or talk to AI chatbots. And the ones that I use, I'll link there as well. As well as having it say when I upload something new there. And what my personal collection is. Yeah, no. I wanted that to be at least be a little bit known what I do in my spare time outside of making YouTube videos, I guess. It's better to know that kind of shit than be like, oh hey, what's this on? What's this? If you go to look at my actual website and be like, what the fuck? Why is there AI bullshit on here? Why is there AI slop? And I'm not gonna... The thing is, I'm gonna handwrite these. They're not gonna be anything that's like, oh hey, here's a, here's something that I just had an AI write up for me that's gonna be used by another AI. I hate that kind of shit as well. And you can tell there's a lot of chatbots that are just low effort that are like that. When there's something AI writing... When an AI writes something, you can tell. You can very much tell. Just based on how it speaks. To be fair. Again, that's one of the reasons I'm kind of just not worried about AI. That's not what I meant to do. I pressed it again. I meant fucking outpost logistics. But that's something I feel like, you know, it's much more acceptable, but just the chatbot section. Because people are gonna goon to whatever they want. Really. That's just how humanity works. We find things to goon to. And again, I'm not, like, super big on AI. But since it's here, there's just things that I'm like, well, I might as well do it so I can make sure, you know, somebody's actually making something fucking quality rather than it just being, you know, slop. There are some decent ones that you'll find that, like, the pages and stuff are really well done, and, like, I think they use Markdown to make them look really nice. I believe they use Markdown. I'm not positive. But that's the kind of stuff that I want it to be, where there's just more quality ones rather than, hey, here's some AI slop that I threw into a... I threw in a prompt to an AI, had it throw me back slop, and then I fed that back through another AI that can talk to you. I hate that. Because even within the AI... Even within the AI sphere, there's slop inside of slop. It's like slop squared. Which is so fucking funny. But, like, at the same time, I hate it. Because if you want, like, a chatbot, you have to get something like... You have to wade through Goonerbait slop until you get something, or find something that's actually decently fucking written, and that looks like it's actually written by a human being. But either way, that's gonna be it today. So I just wanted to say, thank you all for watching. I do have 2 ways down below that you could support me if you enjoy my videos, outside of just watching the videos. The first one is my Honeygain referral code link. I'm not sponsored by Honeygain. It is my personal referral code. If you... to support me using that link, all you have to do is press it, sign up for Honeygain, download the app on either an Android device or a PC, and just let it run in the background while you use the the device to do what you would normally do. You don't have to do anything extra, and it earns you money. Over the course of you earning $20, Honeygame gives me 5. That's it. That's just how it works. It doesn't take it out of yours. They just give me $5. It's not like a direct, oh, here's a $5 bill. It's over the course of you earning your 20. I'm drip fed pennies at a time. Until it eventually adds up to $5 per $20. So, if you want to support me that way without having to donate anything, that's a good way to do it. The other way is my Ko-fi link down below in the description. It is specifically a donation page. There is nothing whatsoever on there that is exclusive content that you cannot access for free. And it will most likely remain that way unless eventually I decide, oh hey, I might add some exclusive content on here. That's the only time that'll be a thing. Is if I decide that eventually, which I'm not planning on at this current time. I also have a direct PayPal donation on my website. There's a donation button on the home screen. It is a much more direct way to donate to me, but you can't see the number go up like on my Ko-fi page where I will set goals and stuff for donations. I also have my... You can't find my actual writing page here. You can only find... on YouTube, you can only find it through my Twitter account, which is SilverWriter7. Writer as in somebody who writes a novel. That's my Twitter handle, is at SilverWriter7. That's where you'll find my actual, like, writing page actually listed. I do not believe I have it listed on my YouTube channel, because it's not necessarily relevant to my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is just something I do for fun. Same with the writing, but, like, the writing is something I feel like is more skillful. This isn't skillful, this is just me playing a video game that I enjoy. But, either way, if you have listened to this, listen to me just talk bullshit for this long. I genuinely wanted to tell you, thank you for considering me, you know, considering that listening to me was worth your time, with your time of the day. You didn't have to. You did not have to sit almost 28 minutes of me rambling on about shit you probably really don't care about, you know. But genuinely, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you listened. It does make me feel very special. It makes me feel worth your time. That you would sit here and just listen to that for so long. But thank you, genuinely. And for everybody else, thank you all so much for watching. And I will catch you in the next one.